True power is rarely loud, but when it reveals itself, the world stands still. Have you ever noticed how sometimes, without even trying, you give a glimpse of your true self and leave people absolutely speechless? It's as if you're walking around with a hidden treasure chest, and every now and then, the lid accidentally opens just a little, allowing those around you to catch a fleeting glimpse of what's inside. And what happens? Shock, curiosity, maybe even a little jealousy. The reactions are almost comical, how people suddenly become so interested in you, trying to figure out why you are so different. Here's a fact: while most people are still busy trying to find themselves, you have quietly discovered a piece of something extraordinary. It's this random magic, these little moments when your true self shines through, often without you even realizing it, that leave others both stunned and intrigued. It's a gift and a curse, isn't it? You didn't intend to reveal anything, but somehow, they've seen just enough to know that you operate on a different level. And let's be honest, once they've seen this magic, they can't unsee it. Number 1. Unveiling unshakable self-confidence. There is something about you that radiates unshakable confidence. It's not the loud, attention-seeking kind, but a quiet, almost mystical force that speaks for itself. People feel it when they're around you, even if they don't fully understand it, and for some, it's downright unsettling. You are living proof that confidence doesn't have to announce itself to be noticed. Instead of shouting your worth, you let your presence speak for you, and that is where the magic lies. This level of self-assurance, this inner knowing, is rare. Most people live with a constant need to be validated by others, bending themselves to gain approval. But you? You don't need applause or a fan base. You have nothing to prove to anyone. Your strength isn't on display, and that's exactly what makes it so extraordinary and intimidating. The people around you wonder how you carry yourself with such ease. They wonder how someone can simply exist without seeking validation. They even test you, hoping to find a weak spot, but most of the time, they are disappointed. You don't react to their attempts because you're not performing for anyone, and that unsettles people the most. They can't figure you out. In a world where most are defined by the roles they play, you refuse to stick to a script. This unspoken confidence reveals something they don't want to face: their own doubts and insecurities. Even if they won't admit it, that's why they sometimes reject you. In reality, it's not about what you do or say, it's the energy you carry, a kind of silent magic they lack. And the fact that you possess this power without needing their approval? They can neither ignore nor forget it. Number 2. Your failures are just disguised opportunities for growth. People love to watch others fail, especially when they secretly envy or misunderstand them. They expect failure to be the moment someone is brought back down to reality, a harsh lesson in humility. But for you, failure is not an endpoint, it's a spark. When things don't go as planned, you don't break. Instead, you adapt. You turn mistakes into stepping stones and use setbacks to fuel your growth. It's almost as if every misstep reveals a new part of you, something stronger and wiser than before. For those watching, it's confusing, maybe even frustrating, because while they see failure as defeat, you see it as the beginning of something deeper. What surprises people is that you don't seem affected by what they would consider a major setback. You don't complain or seek pity. Instead, you keep moving, quietly reinventing yourself, learning, recalibrating. It's this resilience, this ability to turn every fall into a comeback, that both surprises and unsettles people. They don't see your so-called failures as weaknesses but as proof of a strength they can't understand, a strength that doesn't rely on external approval or validation. To some, it almost looks like magic. While others waste time justifying themselves, you rebuild from the ground up, often better than before. You turn your missteps into momentum, and that makes people uneasy. Why? Because you've shown them something that overturns their entire understanding of failure. Instead of breaking you, failure refines you. The way you handle setbacks not only reveals who you are, it reflects what they are not. And this quiet transformation, this unbreakable resilience, turns your so-called failures into something others secretly envy. Number 3. The ability to thrive without validation. You move through life with an independence that most people cannot comprehend. You don't need anyone's approval to feel good about yourself, and that alone is like a superpower in a world where validation is practically currency. While others are glued to their phones, counting likes and comments, measuring their worth through the eyes of others, you walk your own path, completely unfazed by what people think. You've built a sense of self-respect that doesn't shift with trends or crumble under criticism, and for those who constantly seek validation, your independence can be intimidating. People notice it, even if they don't fully understand it. For some, it's inspiring, they see in you what they wish they could be. For others, however, it sparks envy, maybe even resentment, because it reminds them of their own dependence on the opinions of others. Your ability to stand alone and unwavering brings to light the insecurities others try to hide. They may even start projecting their insecurities onto you, subtly or openly attempting to tear down what they cannot attain. But ironically, the more they try, the less it affects you. Their opinions do not define your path, and that is a freedom they cannot comprehend. In a way, your independence acts as a mirror, reflecting their own doubts and fears back at them. While they seek recognition and hope to be seen in a certain light, you walk your own path, free from the burden of constant judgment. That is liberating and rare. People sense this kind of authenticity from a distance and often feel unsettled, even if they cannot fully explain why. You have learned to be your own source of validation, and in a world so hungry for attention, that makes you powerful in a way they will never understand. Number 4. Your intuition instantly detects deception. Your intuition is not just a vague feeling or a fleeting thought, it is like a finely tuned radar that picks up on deception, lies, and manipulation before a single word is spoken. You see through people's masks and read their intentions as if they were written in plain sight. It is such a sharp skill that it goes beyond simple gut feelings, it is almost like an internal compass, steering you away from dishonesty and toward the truth. This can be unsettling for others, especially for those who are not used to being seen so clearly. You don't even have to confront them directly. A single glance, with a knowing expression, is often enough to send a message. They sense that you have seen through them, and it makes them nervous because they are trying to hide or deceive, as if they could somehow outsmart your intuition. But you don't fall for the game. You saw them from the start, and they know it. Your silence in these moments is powerful. While others might quickly call out deception loudly, you are more subtle, allowing people to reveal themselves even further. The more they try to conceal their motives, the clearer they become to you. It is a quiet strength that keeps people on edge, uncertain of how much you have perceived and uneasy about the fact that you see through their facade without them even realizing it. Your intuitive insight makes it nearly impossible to deceive you, and that is a quality others respect, and sometimes fear. Number 5. The art of non-reaction. You have developed a rare and almost elusive skill, the art of non-reaction. When chaos erupts or others try to provoke you, you remain calm and centered, completely in control. This ability to stay grounded while everything around you spirals is more powerful than most people realize. While others become anxious or defensive, you know that reacting impulsively only gives away your power, so you choose silence. You choose restraint. And this choice leaves people both astonished and, at times, in disbelief. When someone tries to provoke you, they expect anger, frustration, or at least a crack in your composed exterior. But when you respond with calmness and detachment, it unsettles them. They realize they cannot shake you, and that realization forces them to confront their own lack of control. It is not just that you remain calm, you show them a form of strength they themselves do not possess. This level of self-mastery cannot be faked, and they know it. You expose their vulnerability while remaining composed. Your non-reaction becomes a shield, a layer of silent power that others can feel but cannot penetrate. By staying centered, you allow no one to dictate your mood, energy, or state of mind. It is a form of resilience that others cannot imitate, no matter how hard they try. In a world where people react quickly and lose their composure even faster, your ability to remain unshaken sets you apart. It is a skill honed through self-discipline, and that is why those who try to provoke you end up being the ones who feel unsettled. Number 6. You channel energy into creation, not competition. You have a unique approach to life. Instead of getting lost in endless rivalries and competitions, you focus purely on creation. While others are busy measuring themselves against one another, desperately trying to climb higher or come out as the winner, you have found your own path and remain on it, fully immersed in your own growth and vision. This choice confuses those who want to drag you into their competition, hoping you will play their game of one-upmanship. They cannot understand why you are not interested in beating them, and it leaves them frustrated and slightly intimidated. Your indifference to their competition almost feels like a power move, a kind of effortless success. When you channel your energy into creation rather than rivalry, it changes everything. Your goals are not about proving yourself or outshining others, they are about building something meaningful, something that reflects your unique vision. People sense that your success comes from authenticity, not from a need to surpass anyone. And that is what makes your success feel so natural. While they waste energy comparing themselves to everyone around them, you work quietly and steadily, and it shows. Your progress is not forced, it flows, and that drives them crazy. You do not waste time with petty rivalries or distractions. Instead, you direct all that energy into what truly matters, and the results speak for themselves. Your indifference to competition is not just refreshing, it is liberating. By refusing to constantly engage in battles for validation, you have freed yourself to create without limits. And that sense of freedom is something few people ever experience. No wonder they wonder how you manage to stay so focused, so calm, and so consistently ahead without ever stepping into the ring. Number 7. You radiate knowledge that shatters illusions. There is something about you that others cannot quite grasp, a sense of wisdom that feels as if it comes from lifetimes of experience, not just years of study. This is not knowledge you gain from books or formal teachings. It is an inner understanding that radiates from within, piercing through the illusions under which so many people live. It unsettles those around you because they sense that something deeper is happening, something they have no access to. You do not need to say much to make people feel this. Your mere presence holds this unspoken depth, one that challenges their limited perceptions of reality. What makes this knowledge so powerful is that it does not rely on conventional understanding, and that is what leaves others both curious and threatened. While they have spent their lives collecting superficial knowledge, you have tapped into something that exists beyond the boundaries of education or societal norms. That makes them incapable of reaching what you know, creating a sense of vulnerability in them. Their own limited perspective becomes obvious when confronted with your clarity, and that often leaves them feeling exposed. You have shattered the illusions upon which they have built their reality, and now they doubt everything. The unsettling part for them is not just that you know more, it is that you are more, something they cannot grasp. Your wisdom does not need explanation because it is an energy that can be felt, not just understood. And in this silent knowing, you leave them both fascinated and threatened, as they realize that the deeper truth you carry can neither be learned nor imitated. It can only be embodied. Number 8. You do not chase, you attract. You possess a magnetic quality that draws the right people, opportunities, and resources into your life without needing to chase them or force outcomes. While others expend enormous energy grasping at what they want, you simply align yourself with your goals and allow them to come to you naturally. This is not about passively waiting but about cultivating a mindset and energy that invites exactly what resonates with you. This approach contradicts the common hustle and grind mentality, leaving others confused, and sometimes frustrated. They see you attracting what they desperately pursue, yet they do not fully understand how you do it. The secret lies in your ability to turn inward and trust that what is meant for you will find its way without unnecessary struggle. Instead of obsessing over what you lack or relentlessly chasing external things, you focus on inner alignment, whether through maintaining inner peace, honing your skills, or nurturing your passions. This creates a natural magnetism. The energy you exude is calm, confident, and clear about what it wants, which in turn attracts people and opportunities that vibrate on that same frequency. This effortless attraction challenges people's understanding of success. Many are conditioned to believe that only constant striving brings rewards. Watching you receive without endless chasing disrupts this belief and makes them wonder what they are missing. What they do not see is that this approach requires deep self-awareness and trust, qualities you have developed over time. You do not waste energy forcing things that are not aligned with your path. Instead, you preserve it for what truly matters. And that intentionality is what brings the right things to your doorstep. While others exhaust themselves chasing, you have mastered the art of attracting, a skill that, to those watching from the outside, almost seems like magic.